There's a story in today's papers about a woman who quiet quit her marriage. She says it took her 10 years to pluck up the courage to get divorced, instead spending a decade living a separate life from her husband. This comes as statistics show that 1 in 3 women between the ages of 45 and 65 feel relief and excitement after divorce. So can it give you a new lease of life? I mean, I think that woman who we were talking about, I don't think anybody wakes up one morning and just says, oh, I'm fed up with this, want to get divorced. I'm sure it's a bit of a slow burn.
Yeah, I'm quite sure that it is. And if it's more a case of you grow apart while you're in the marriage. I do have a friend who did just that, and they lived together in the same household. They had young children. I think they were about 13, so they were at an age where they're mentally, if there was any change, it could uproot them from school and everything else with the studies. And so they waited for 5 years until they were, you know, at college and a bit older to be able to understand, because I think a lot of people stay together for the children, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong way, but
were they living amicably?
But they were living amicably, very amicably. And then I think it was like 3 months. They filed for a divorce after the 5 years after the children got older. 3 months, very amicable, split and went their separate ways, and now living the best of lives apart with new partners. You know, it can work in a. So it doesn't have to be ugly.
Takes the heat out of it,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it depends why you're divorcing, why you're splitting up, doesn't
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, Gary and I have spoken about this before. We were sort of having chats through COVID. So we were living in the same house. And in a way, that's good, because I think if you suddenly said one day, right, we're getting divorced, and you did that, makes it very hard to have organic chats and whatever. So it was a lot friendlier than a lot of divorces I know for that exact reason. And I feel quite heartened, actually. There is, I'm not going to name it, but there is a big company that's sprung up, which is all about a, you know, friendly divorce. And there's other companies now starting up like that, because I think sometimes, you know, people say that when lawyers get involved, it can get a bit heated. And these companies are springing up now, which is very much... It doesn't have to be that way.
What, you mean legal company?
Well, it can be, it can be friendlier, it can be... But you...
Yeah, me.
Expert.
Me, as the divorce expert on the panel, well, my first 3 divorces, apart from the fact that I was always the guilty party and I was always, you know, the one that wanted a divorce, even though I'd behaved badly, they were amicably resolved. There were no children involved, and the financial situation was that we were both earning our own money, and it was relatively easy to resolve. So they were, I would say, in each divorce, there was the hurt phase, the curmudgeonly, you know, we've got to sort this out, but we need to sort it out as quickly as possible so we don't run up unnecessary costs. And then there was the period where you weren't exactly talking to each other because you weren't the best friends, and then 6 months later, back talking to each other, and that very civilised. So that was the first 3, and I completely understand why these women, 1 in 3, whatever the statistic is, feel a new lease of life. Because if you've waited and waited till, as Brenda has said, till the children have left home or gone to university or whatever, and now you're going to have a chance at living another life.
Well, in a way, though, the fact that your children have grown up and whatever, that is part of the new lease of life, because you're not so wanted or needed. But
the stigma attached to divorce is gone.
But you sometimes hope that your partner would come with you on that phase, but it doesn't always. And I think with a lot of women, it's not necessarily about a new lease of life. It's actually just about getting on with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw you were interviewed for Woman and Home magazine. Fantastic photos, by the way. Look at that, gorgeous.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Go, Ruth. It's all smoke and mirrors and hair extensions, but it's really lovely. It's very
you look great. But you're talking about getting on with it,
I mean,
really.
I just obviously, they asked me about my separation and divorce, and I said, you know, for whatever reason you find yourself in the situation, whether it was amicable, not amicable, your choice, their choice, whatever, or joint, here you are. and all you can do is get on with life,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You do have that. You know, as I said, as Gloria Gaynor said, what do I do?
I will
do
survive.
I
I
do
know.
I crumble?
I mean,
do I lay
I-
down and die, or do I survive?
I
And you have a
completely
choice.
think that when you get past a certain age, you have to kind of toughen up and think, I'm going to have the best life
Yeah.
I possibly
Yeah.
can. And my fourth marriage was a complete disaster. And even reading the correspondence about it upsets me to this day that I could be so stupid. But what I'm really pleased about is that I've set it aside and I managed to find another really nice partner.
Yeah.
But because you can, and even someone like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, there's life beyond. There's always life beyond,
There
I say.
is.
Just go out and grab it.